So, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, but what business benefit does it have, right? What we have found out that in many, many cases, the cousin of a really, really bad idea, if you just take a bad idea and flip it just a little bit, it actually becomes a really creative, good idea. So we're going to give you some time to come up with some really bad ideas before lunch around your insights. But I'm going to tell you, you might be a little bit skeptical, so I'm going to tell you an example of a really, really bad idea that became a good idea. Back when Lexus first launched in the US market, which was their first market, they didn't launch in Japan until about 2003, 2004. They'd been around for almost 20 years before they launched in Japan. When they launched in North America, they came into a really, really terrible environment. Right before they launched, Audi had just had a recall. Anybody, this is a pretty famous recall. Did anybody ever hear why Audis were being recalled? Back in the mid to late 80s. I know you guys are too young to remember that, but it's kind of a famous case.
Was it airbags?
No, it wasn't airbags. It was a little problem called unintended acceleration. Is that a good thing if you're an automobile man? I mean, cars were speeding up without people putting their foot on the accelerator. Or so that's what the reports were. It turned out that it wasn't true. It wasn't true. But Audi handled it extremely badly. They denied it because it wasn't true. But they didn't sound very caring. Their PR was terrible. And they got a black eye. They didn't really recover in the US market for 10 years from this problem. Here comes Lexus. They launch right after this recall started happening for Audi. And guess what happens 30 days into the Lexus launch in North America? They have to have a recall. But Lexus handled it completely differently. Here's how Lexus handled it. Susie, you have a Lexus, right? I call you up and say, sorry, Susie, I'm going to have to get your Lexus back from you. We've got a small problem. We're going to fix it. I'm going to bring you a loaner car. I'm going to bring it to you. You want it at work or home? Where do you want me to bring it?
Work sounds good.
Work's good. They show up at work at the prescribed time. Oh, by the way, the Lexus they drop off, guess what?
Upgrade.
No, there was only one model at the time, but it has more features. Unless you got all the features, it had more features and functions than your current Lexus.
All right.
They fix it immediately. 2 days later, they same conversation. Susie, work or home this time?
Yep, still at work.
Still at work? Okay, you never left. Here, they bring it back. Guess what? It's in immaculate
Clean
condition. It's even nicer than when you first bought it. Susie, what do you do with that information?
And that makes me happy, and I tell all my coworkers.
Tells everybody. On average, it goes to at least 200 people. And everybody that had bought a Lexus, by the way, it was kind of an average launch at that point. They were kind of on plan, not really above plan, not below plan. It was going okay. Immediately after this recall, their sales skyrocketed. And the rest is history, right? Became North American Car of the Year several times. All right? Why am I telling you this story? We know people in Detroit who swear that there was absolutely nothing wrong with the Lexus, that it was a fake recall. Now, you want to talk about a bad idea?
Wow.
Walk into your boss's office and say, hey, I got a great idea. Let's have a fake recall. But the fact is taking a really, what sounded like a really, really bad idea and kind of just taking it and twisting it a little bit, turns it into a brilliant idea, something that launched, if it was true, Lexus isn't talking, but launched a great success story. So we want you to come up with some really bad ideas.